Hello, today is February 13th, 2013. 1313, that's fun. And you're listening to I Think You Think, a podcast that puts a new spin on debate and discussion. I'm Justin, and on the other side of my computer screen is James.
Good evening, folks.
And we are your hosts and carry no credentials worth noting. I Think You Think is a podcast that focuses on what we, your hosts, think, but also what you think. Too many times we spend debates and discussions talking past one another and not enough time trying to learn and understand why someone thinks what they think. This is what makes I Think You Think different, because we are focused on why people think the way that they do and why we think the way that we do. James and I believe that the forum of ideas should be open to everyone, and everyone should have the opportunity to challenge and be challenged by ideas. We are not here to pass judgment, but merely discuss ideas and topics. This podcast, first and foremost, is a conversation between us and hopefully you. Feel free to email us, follow us on Facebook for future podcasts, and follow us on Tumblr for links relevant to this podcast and other podcasts. The links for each of these can be found in the underbar of this video. I Think You Think is produced by StolenArts Productions and is recorded live at Fisher International Studios. How are you doing, James?
I am doing well. Yourself?
I've had better weeks, but I'm doing okay. So, yeah, just stuff at work. Gets kind of frustrating.
Yeah, same on this end. But since I'm not there right now, I'm just trying to let that sort of fall away at the moment. I do need to bring up, though, but every time you say the intro and you say the thing about people talking past each other, I always want to interrupt you. There's a little part of my brain that wants to jump in, and I always restrain myself. But I'm like here, and there's just a little prankster part of my mind that's like, say something, man. This is the time.
Well, I was thinking as I was saying it, I was thinking about last week when Lane had mentioned how fast I was getting. I was thinking, I wonder if I'm saying this faster and faster. And then I had realized that I had just spoken like two sentences, and I hadn't even been like looking at what I was reading. So I was just saying it.
Autopilot.
Yeah, I was autopilot. Well, back when I was in college and in plays a lot, I remember in one show, I had an opening monologue right at the beginning of the show. And by the fourth or fifth night, and obviously we'd been rehearsing for 2 or 3 months at that point, but by the fourth or fifth night, I remember saying the lines and thinking something completely independent, and thinking about the fact that I wasn't even thinking about the lines that I was saying.
Yeah.
I think that's what they call phoning it in.
Maybe. Or, you could just say that you're very good at multitasking. If we want to put a positive spin on it.
Yeah, that's good. We'll put a positive spin on it.
I do that sometimes when I'm reading. Like if there's something that's really on my mind and I'm reading, I will like be a couple pages in and realize like part of my brain was reading that, but the bigger part of my brain was thinking about something, and it was just like reading it and like pushing it out the side of my brain because it never really stuck, and I'd have to go back.
Reread the same sentence over and over.
Yeah, and it'd all be familiar. Well, not the same sentence, but if I get caught up when maybe a page or two, but and I go back and it's familiar, but not so much, it's not like I had really read it, but the stuff is still familiar in that sense that I had read it, just hadn't really retained it at any level.
Yeah, because normally when I'm reading a book, I visualize what's going on,
right,
and it gets to the point where I don't actually feel like I'm reading it in so much that I'm experiencing it. Like I am reading it, but whatever is going on in my head is what I'm really focused on.
Right.
At least that's my experience when I read books. But sometimes when my mind wanders, I will continue to read, but I'll be thinking about something else. And then I go back, and it's the same kind of thing where I'm like, oh, I do remember reading the sentence, but I didn't visualize anything for it.
Right.
But so today is the 13th of February, the day before Valentine's Day. However, but you guys will be listening to it the day after Valentine's Day. But for us, it is the day before Valentine's Day. Both of us have significant others. Do you have any plans?
Nothing specific.
Not a big Valentine's person, or?
I try to put some effort into it, but I mean, for me, like yesterday I had a really long day. Today I had a really long day. Tomorrow we're gonna have a really long day. So it keeps getting pushed to the back burners.
Oh, okay.
Just work, work, work. I have off on Friday, but yeah, I don't know. I mean, if tomorrow's kind of a normal day, given the amount of staff we have on, because we have a lot of staff on tomorrow, it's a relatively busy restaurant day, then I'll probably be out at a reasonable hour, but I don't know. I don't know. What about yourself?
My wife is not a big Valentine's person, so we haven't ever done. We don't really ever do anything for Valentine's. Sometimes it happens to fall that I might have, I have Friday off this week, but because we have the kids and nobody has offered to watch them or anything, we probably won't go do anything. We might go out to eat, but we haven't been doing as much of that because both of us are on diets. And when you go to restaurants, you normally end up your meal is like, I don't know, one to somewhere between 1 and 2,000 calories.
Mm-hmm.
And one meal to be that many calories, it's hard for us to do that. So we don't go out to eat other than going to like fast food restaurants where you can get like a salad or something that's only a couple of hundred calories.
Yes.
But my wife's not a big Valentine's Day kind of person, so we don't really do that much. We don't exchange gifts. I think I've mentioned that before. We might have mentioned that before. We are not big on exchanging gifts or anything like for Christmas or birthdays because if I want something, I'll just say, hey, I really want to get this new video game, and then go get what I want. She wants something. Normally it's, hey, I just noticed that you ordered something from Amazon. Yeah, I wanted this book. Okay.
Right, right. And I mean, as long as there's, a balance in that, as far as, you spend $100, she spends $100, arbitrary number, but, that's got to work out. And I mean, arbitrary is probably a really good word to put on Valentine's Day. It's like this day that, we're supposed to, express that, caring and whatever. But why just the one day? You know what I mean? Like it should be, it's like this routine. It's an obligation. You're supposed to do it on that one day when realistically there's, every day. It means more if you do something on another day. Um, but it's weird. I mean, it's money, 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 money. It's more, consumerism, you know, go eat out at the restaurants, buy roses, of course, other things, candies, etc. Anything that's pink or red and has a teddy bear or a heart or whatever. There's all this stuff to buy and all this money to spend on, this random one day of the year. You could probably buy someone you care about twice as many flowers in March for the same that you'll spend for them tomorrow.
Yeah, and it's one of those. There's at my work we have certain holidays and times of the year where we set what's our promotional aisle. It's an aisle that changes for the different seasons. Valentine's is one of them, and it's one of those I really don't get why we set for it. I feel like we should just after Christmas set with the normal kinds of stuff we set for after Christmas, um, and then after we could set some Valentine's Day, but it seems so silly to get all of these all this chocolate and plush and stuff in. As a business person, I like it because people love to come and spend money on Valentine's Day, but as a person, my personal belief is just I don't get it. Like I like me some chocolate. I wouldn't, say no to somebody getting me some chocolate or anything, but I just don't get the point, and it definitely doesn't have to be in a red heart shaped box.
Right.
Yeah. I was looking I was checking on Wikipedia because I kind of wanted to know how far back, like when did Valentine's Day really like start as we understand it, and
Right. Right.
the um, when it started being associated with like romantic love was about the 15th century, which would have been like the 1400s, um, and then and then after that it evolved into where the kind of the normal sort of stuff where we people exchange chocolates and Valentines and all that kind of stuff. Um, at least according to Wikipedia, which I
Right.
which I just edited. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
But it has to do with the what they call the Feast of Saint Valentine, um, and then we observe it every year on the 14th. But it really doesn't mean anything in regards to it being Saint Valentine's Day. It really is this kind of expression of um, where you take somebody out or you are taken out somewhere. You're given gifts. You do something together as a couple, and it's associated with this kind of romantic love. I've always thought about it as like a Hallmark holiday, like some just holiday that Hallmark uh, kind of put together, like Sweetest Day.
Sweetest day, yeah. And it's kind of on the other side of the year. I think it's like 5 or 7 months apart, depending on which direction you're looking at. But yeah,
Yeah. Um, but evidently the whole giving chocolates and heart-shaped chocolate boxes and Valentine's stretches back for several hundred years. So I guess at least it has some sort of history.
but what it's morphed into, and it's really not a balanced holiday because I mean, and it is what it is. But us as the men are the ones that are expected to really, you know, set everything up and go out of our way. And, we were supposed to spend more of the money, you know. I mean, realistically, that's kind of the way it's set up for.
Right. I don't receive flowers or chocolates or stuffed animals for on Valentine's Day. I'm normally the person who gives. Of course, the person who gives as in many years ago, not really anymore.
Right, right. And I mean, it's not like those are anything, you know. I mean, yeah, chocolates. I mean, I'm not. You said you like them. I'm not a huge fan. Like Reese's peanut butter cups are delicious, and that's about the end of it for me.
There you go.
Um,
The Reese's peanut butter heart shaped chocolate.
I would accept those with a smile on my face and be thankful for them. But plush teddy bears, not really interested. You know, my candy does not need to be in heart-shaped boxes. I like the smell of lilacs because they remind me of my childhood, but flowers really aren't my thing as a general rule. They're pretty in the house, but I'm not. If I wanted them, I would just buy them. I don't need someone to, give them to me. So the holiday is definitely set up to be pointed, you know, towards women. And I don't know when it took that turn, if that's kind of just sort of a dynamic of our society, and that's just sort of how it manifests in that kind of holiday. Um, but yeah, I would. I mean, it's not a gender neutral holiday by any stretch.
Well, I mean, we are a society built out of the Renaissance. Um, the the ideas of uh, how we view love and sex and relationships really kind of our roots stem from that Renaissance, and courtly love and those types of things stem from that sort of society, which that was kind of what was kind of going on during this time. So I mean, we've really kind of built upon it. Now, obviously, it's gotten to the point where it's another kind of consumer driven um, thing. I doubt that the businesses 400 or 500 years ago, in the 1400s, 15th century, were thinking to themselves, here's a great opportunity to make a boatload of money for the next 100 or 150 or 200 years. Um, let's go ahead and do this and let's rope people into it. I'm sure it was, as much as one could say this, a more pure form of Valentine's Day than
Yeah.
what it's kind of become.
Well, I'm sure your business as well as mine, restaurants and retail, um, and florists especially, but they count on that business,
Yes.
that's going to happen because of that holiday, and I mean it just is what it is. There's nothing to be done about it. It exists that way. It's not going to really change. At least not in any short amount of time. I mean, and I don't think it really needs to be changed. I mean, it is what it is, and there's something nice about it. It's just it's weird that for me when I think about it that like this is the one like you're supposed to really on anniversaries, Valentine's Day, Christmas, and birthday. Those are the 4 days you're really supposed to go out of your way. You're supposed to, but it should really happen more often. Valentine's Day doesn't need to be the only day of the year. If it is, you got bigger issues than the money you're going to spend on flowers and candies and plush teddy bears.
Yeah, I mean it's kind of like I just had a birthday a few days ago.
Oh yeah, happy birthday! I think it was the day after we recorded our last podcast, and you didn't say anything. I saw that on Facebook, and I meant to post up on there, but I was working when I saw it.
It was indeed. It was the 9th. It was the day after we recorded with Lane. Um, but I'm not real. It's not a huge deal for me. I was telling my wife as kind of a joke today. Now I'm 31, which means when I was 30, I could say, I'm just over the cusp into 30. I'm really sort of in my 20s, but just like we're just past my 20s. I'm still really like a 20-year-old who just happens to be 30. Um, now, I'm really getting to the meat of being 30 by being 31. Um, but the one thing that I always, kind of tell myself is, well, my sister's in her 40s, so so to me that's surprising because to me in my head she will always be in her 20s because during my formative years that's really that's really how old she was. When I was in my teens, she was in her 20s. She was going to college, and I was in my teens.
Yeah, well, I'm 40, and the one thing that we just keep getting older. It's just not going to stop anytime soon. You know, it is what it is, and you're getting there. 9 more years.
Yeah. Well, I say to myself that my daughter will be graduating from high school and I'll only be like 45. My youngest will have graduated from high school and be heading off to college, hopefully, or if she decides to, and I'll only be 45. And to me, 45, I still have like half my life ahead of me. Well, assuming I don't get hit by a car.
But wait, didn't you know that the kids don't move out anymore?
Yeah, I know they come back home or they stay home.
Yep.
Yeah, yeah, that's all right. It, I,
You say that now because you don't have like, teenage and older children living in your house.
my son's only a few more years away from that, so and he's got a birthday. He'll be 8 in April.
Well, happy almost his birthday.
No, right? And as we've established, I can't remember what day it is or what year.
It's all good. That's what, you write that stuff down, build them a Facebook. That's how I remember everybody's birthday.
Yeah, without Facebook, then I wouldn't know when to say happy birthday to anybody.
And speaking of that, just for anyone who is a friend with me on Facebook, no, I don't want to download the app that's going to let you know when my birthday is. Okay. Seriously, people, let it go.
Yeah.
You can already tell, it already says it on Facebook when your birthday is. It's all good. Okay. Sorry. Tangent.
No.
I needed to announce that in a public forum.
I'm with you. Yeah, I always skip past those. I'm like, dude, it's on your homepage in the upper right hand corner.
Yeah. Or look at events. It shows in the future and it's nice. It's all already there. We don't need a separate app for that.
I have before, just to see. A few years ago, I was getting kind of jaded by, and we're really getting off Valentine's. But anyway, getting kind of jaded by Facebook and people, saying happy birthday because Facebook says, hey, this person's birthday is today. And so the day before my birthday being on the 9th, I changed the date. I went in and changed my date to like September something, just to see who would say happy birthday to me on my birthday, actually on my birthday on Facebook, and not have been prompted, obviously, by Facebook.
Right.
Um, After the year that I did that, I decided that I would never do that again because I only had like 3 people say happy birthday to me on my birthday on Facebook.
it is kind of nice. I mean, if you know what it is, if you know that those are your Facebook friends and this isn't reality, you know,
Yeah.
it's nice, you know?
Especially when you've got 200, 300, 400 Facebook friends. You're not going to remember who all. I can't even remember my kid's birthday.
Yeah.
Like my siblings, and half the time I forget my wife's. So, it's not really that bad. But, um, but I was talking with a friend of mine who she had forgotten how old she was. She thought she was much older than she was. She was like, she thought she was turning 28 or 29 because her, myself, a couple other people in my Dungeons and Dragons group, we all have
Yeah.
birthdays in February. All of us, but one of us,
Wow.
all birthdays in February. And so the I like the Facebook. So the way I get past this kind of jaded feeling I got about Facebook and the birthday thing is uh, I'll say happy birthday to people, and most people will either just like the post or they might just shoot out a hey thanks or something like that. And so what I do is I actually write a 1 or 2 sentence response to whoever posts on my Facebook, not just a hey thank you,
Right.
thank you for posting. Um, if they say something to the effect of happy birthday, I hope you have a good one today or something, I will respond to that as opposed to just thank you or liking the post. Because it's easy to just like a post, it's easy to just say thanks. It takes a little bit more time to actually go through to each one of those posts and post 1 to 2 sentences saying, "Hey, thanks. I wanted to let you know I appreciate the time for you coming to my Facebook and saying happy birthday."
Yeah.
And so that's what I do. That's how I got past my jadedness for it.
Yeah, I'm not too jaded just because I hide the people that really annoy the snot out of me on Facebook. People that incessantly post the same thing, whatever that subject matter is, maybe every time they post it's about religion or it's about politics in some like extreme way that I know them and they would never actually talk this way in public, but since they're protected by it, or whatever it is, or the wah, 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 my horrible, horrible life, like all the time. Every now and again, everybody gets a post if they want, like, oh, I'm having a crap day, mother bleeping, you know what I mean? And that's fine. But when every single post is that, hid, hid, hid. I
Yeah.
don't know how many people I have completely hidden forever, but I'm kind of liberal with it when I'm at my laptop.
Well, I remember there was a person who was posting about a particular thing a lot on my Facebook, and I had told my wife, I said, I wish that I liked their other posts, but they posted a lot about this other thing I really wasn't interested in. And so I said, I wish that there was a way to do like keyword hiding, like say, I want to hide any post that has this keyword in it, and then any post that has it, I would never see. But you don't get that option. You either hide every post of theirs, or you have the option to hide like certain games and things like that. But you either
Right,
hide every post or you hide none of them, with the exception of the games, obviously.
right, right.
Hey,
Well, if I had that option, I would probably pick the keyword Obama. Yeah, like, whoa, no one has posted anything on Facebook for 14 days since I hit Obama, except for that one funny picture of a cat.
there's just tumbleweeds scrolling across your Facebook page.
you know,
Um, uh, you didn't happen to look at the time for when we started, did you?
I did not. I was just wondering the same thing.
Thinking, I wonder if we're coming up. We've got to be coming close to a half hour already.
Well, my timer is saying 45 minutes on the phone call, but I know we rambled beforehand, and I'm sure all the people listening are very interested.
Everybody's navigated away.
you know, stay with us. Stay with us.
For those of you who stayed, you get a special surprise. And I'll tell you when I come up with what that special surprise is.
Oh man, because I stayed. I'm excited now. You know that Taco Cat spelled backwards is Taco Cat? Yep, Facebook is teaching me things.
It is indeed. That is the surprise. Now you know. Share that with everyone.
Everyone, like literally, let's start, people. We're not going to stop until everybody knows.
Well, let's just. I would say that this is probably we've probably been on for about a half hour ish. We'll end this topic, the topic on Valentine's that's mutated to happy birthdays on Facebook.
And taco cats.
Taco Cats, which is Taco Cats backwards.
It is. It is. You have to move where the space is, but yes, it works.
Um. Okay, so I'm just gonna give the. I'm gonna do the. Anyway, we'll see you guys. We'll see you in a couple of days. Thanks for listening. And make sure you like the video. Make sure you comment. Please like the post on Facebook and comment there. Share it if you like our ramblings. Don't share it if you don't. But tell us you don't, and say, this is what I don't like about it, because that's fine too. We're okay with that.